Peoples of the world, welcome. Capital G bringing you a channel update video today. Um, for those that are here for the first time, this is somehow your first video with me. Welcome to the channel. I hope you like Magic the Gathering, specifically the Commander format. We do a lot of deck techs with a little bit of strategy and tips and tricks sprinkled in. I've got some older Let's Play videos as well, so if you like games like Maximum Carnage, Sonic Classic Heroes, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, those kind of things, be sure to check those series out. And for the person that just recently watched my Maximum Carnage series and commented on all those videos, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate the thumbs up. Glad I was able to provide some entertainment with those old videos. But let's talk about my current series. Of course, my focus is on the Commander format, and I've got 3 different series on that. So deck techs on pause until Dominaria United comes out. Those are the hardest videos to make because I have to, it's a one-man show. I come up with the decks in its entirety. I have to message people in case there's some rules interactions I need to double check. I don't edit videos, so I have to not only build the deck, I have to make sure it works, and then sit down and record. And I have to get a good one-take recording, or at least, something decent enough that I'm happy enough to put up to YouTube. Because I don't do cut and paste. I don't take the time to edit videos. I used to. It's very time consuming, very resource consuming, and the worst is when you're editing a video and then you do all your cuts, you reprocess the video with all your cuts, and it comes out choppy, ugly, what have you. That's the kind of thing that ended up killing some of my Let's Plays, such as the Front Mission Let's Play. I would have loved to finish that one, but sometimes, like the video recording process, the editing process, the reprocessing, upscaling, when it doesn't work, it's very disheartening, even though it should work. And it's worked on every other video up to that set, and then you do the exact same thing for the next 2-3 videos, and you don't get the quality you want. It's frustrating. So that's kind of why I moved on from Let's Plays to Magic the Gathering and doing the one-take style rather than the editing style. So yes, deck techs on pause until Dominaria United so I can kind of refresh, get some new ideas. And of course, it's just easier to build when I've got some brand new commanders in front of me. It's harder to go back to an older commander and do a deck tech on it. Especially when you go back to those older commanders. Let's say I were to go back and do a deck tech on Ghoul or Gisa. Well, not a lot of people run Ghoul or Gisa anymore, so they're not really going to be super interested in watching that video. I could be wrong, though. Sometimes I'm surprised which commanders get super popular. So, there we go. But it's harder to go back to an older commander to do a deck tech on it because there's less interest on that than there is in, say, a newer character. Commander is very cult of the new. That's an expression we brought over from the board game community, where if you're a fan of the modern board games, a lot of people are very cult of the new or cult of the future, where they're more excited about current and upcoming games than they are about the classics. So, same kind of thing happens in Commander. So that's why we got the pause button on that for now. But that opens up things for the first 10. That's my quick take series where I can take any commander I want, suggest my first sort of 10 cards for it, kind of focusing on strategy, synergies, what have you. And then I leave the rest to you. If you like those ideas, you're going to take those 10 cards and then you're going to put in the other 90 and have some fun with that. Such as the concept of the first 10. It was also a nice way to kind of have a quick look at the Baldur's Gate pre-cons. I've got some mixed reviews on that, especially, what was the name? Nelia Diarnaise. Not a lot of people liked my take on the Party Time Commander. I have to admit, I personally favor the focus on clerics, but that's just my deck building style. Not everyone, of course, would agree with that. And that's okay, and that's sort of the point. Anytime I present a deck tech or a first 10 video, I don't want you to agree with me 100%, but I'm hoping that the ideas that I provide ignite that Planeswalker spark, shall we say. And even if you can use those ideas, or you can set them aside, but build the deck you want to build it, play it the way you want it to play it. And that's what's nice about doing those deck techs and the first 10 series, both. Their goal is to both kind of do that. A completely different goal comes from the EDH Community Theater series. Just started that, or I'm taking decks from the submitted to me through Discord, and I'll give it the once over, analyze it, talk a little bit about the player, because it's all about playing with people and making friends, and that's what I've been really enjoying about Discord and playing over on Spell Table. I don't get the opportunity to go to my LGS for Commander nights. They always happen on a Wednesday, and I work Wednesday nights, so I don't have not been able to go back to my LGS and play Commander. And even if I wasn't working on Wednesday nights, well, I've got a toddler, and she's a lot of fun to hang out with, and I love her to bits, and I'm going to make sure that we have all sorts of fun. And once she's able to start reading, and I'll start teaching her some of the simple games and ease her up into Magic, such is the plan. Of course, my wife wants her to learn how to ride horses instead, so we'll see who wins that tug of war over the time, shall we say. But yes, the EDH Community Theater lets me look at other people's decks, analyze some of their ideas, strategies. There are things in there that I wouldn't think of. I recently did a video of Chatterfang. Booty Magic submitted to me a deck featuring Chatterfang as the commander. It had a card that I didn't understand, but I made the mistake of not asking what it was there for. So, unfortunately, I totally slept on what it could do in that deck. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go watch that video. I'm going to actually add the synergy to the description of the video that I missed out on. So that's the game plan there. But yeah, that was it's fun to kind of learn these new tricks and tactics by doing this series. Had to put that on pause because my daughter was away from daycare for a while, and I had a lot of things to take care of on the house. But gonna have some new episodes of that as early as this week. So I'm gonna slightly rename it. I was focusing on a singular Discord group. I'm going to just shorten it to EDH Community Theater and broaden it to multiple Discord groups, and link them all in those videos. So that's going to be fun to do. And yeah, that is what's happening with my series right now. Now let's talk about Magic sets. We've had Kamigawa Neon Dynasty and New Capenna really spark the format. Loved Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, loved the flavor, loved the experimentation on the cards. Yes, it's a very complex set, but it gave us a lot of great commanders, such as Ishan and Hanada. It gave us lots of new staples, such as, what was it? There was that Tranquil Garden thing that's great for tribal decks. It comes in untapped, and it taps for mana of any color for your selected tribe. Absolutely fantastic uncommon in that set. Lots of great toys to play with overall for our format. So if you haven't already, go through the spoiler list again for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. By now, a lot of those cards' prices should be coming down. So you should be able to scoop up some great commanders and some great toolbox pieces in that set. New Capenna, I have to admit, when I was going through the spoiler list, I had a hard time coming up with ideas. We have a lot of great 3-color commanders, even 2-color commanders in that set, but it didn't really light the Planeswalker spark until I had those cards in my hand. Then once I did, well, boom, really got the imagination going. So that's kind of my take on New Capenna. It didn't really do anything new with those allied 3-color combinations, honestly. That's kind of the only disappointment I have there, is that it didn't really break new ground. But it definitely gave us some new toys to play with. It gave us the rest of the triomes. So there is that. The set boosters in New Capenna, loved those. The reason for that is the list. I'm not a huge fan of the list. It's 300 cards. There's a lot of garbage amongst those 300 cards, and you only get 1 in every 4 packs on average. But on average doesn't mean that happens all the time. So when I was opening a set booster box of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, I only got like 4 set booster cards, and 3 of them were absolutely useless to me as a deck builder. I did get actually, that's not true. There was 5 list cards. I got Springleaf Drum, which was good, and I did get Umbral Mantle, which is really good. But everything else was not so great. New Capenna had a shortened list of only 87 cards. There were some really good cards on that list. I did not pull the Sensei's Divining Top, unfortunately, but it was on that shortened list. Also on that shortened list were the Stranger Things legendary creatures rethemed into Innistrad. And what's cool about them, they have the Friends Forever mechanic, which means you can use any two of them in combination as your commanders. So it opened up like 3, 4, and even a 5-color combination between those characters, which is actually really sweet. So, and oddly enough, those cards, the Universes Within version of the Friends Forever commanders, are surprisingly cheap to get as singles. I was pleasantly surprised by that. I got them in my set boosters, but then I go to my local LGS and I see how much they're asking for them, and they're not asking for a lot, actually. Probably because they're not the most legacy playable cards. I'm assuming that's the reason. But they're great commanders in our format. Bjorna and Orthelm have impressed and overachieved for me, so there we go. I'm been a huge fan of those characters, and I was glad to see it. And an 87 card list. I mean, I got a few of those Friends Forever commanders, but the rest, I actually got some cards I could use, which I could not say from the typical 300 card list. So there we go. That's kind of my feelings there. Battle for Baldur's Gate, Brewer's Paradise. I know it's not the power level of the original Commander Legends. I guess on that front a little bit disappointed, as are a lot of players. But as far as what you can do with the set, it gave us a lot of great relevant commanders. It gave us Miram, for example, everyone's favorite Temur Dragon. I finally got to build a Temur deck in paper thanks to Miram. I never thought I would like a Dragon Tribal deck that much, but there we go. It also gave us the monocolored commanders with Choose a Background. Love that mechanic. In concept, I could build 5 different Abdel Adrian decks and then do a mono-white version, a black-white version, a black-blue version, a not black, but white-green. So Abdel Adrian is mono-white. But pair that with Far Traveler, that's one play style. Pair it with Samuel Charlatan, completely different play style. Pair it with Agent of the Iron Throne, different color combination, completely different play style, so on and so forth. So I loved being able to experiment with that. Actually, I might actually do that. I might pick one of the commanders. Ooh, that'll be a fun idea for a video. I'm gonna pick one of the background commanders, choose 5 different backgrounds, and build half the deck around the commander itself and half the deck around each of the backgrounds. That might be a fun idea. That's going to be an interesting little experiment. I'm going to get back to you on that one. But yes, I do really enjoy the set. I love the new gates. I'd almost put Gon's Gate on a bit of a watch list, as it were. Gon's Gate is the one that it taps for colorless. Does it tap for colorless, or does it tap for a mana of any color that a gate you control could produce? I forget. But it's got a very powerful static ability where your gates come into play untapped. So if you're playing the Maze's End deck, and you've got Gon's Gate in your deck, you're going to ramp that out in a hurry. Because then all your gates come into play untapped. We're now up. We had 11 gates in total before. Now we're up to 20. Making Maze's End an actual, truly viable win condition. I mean, it was already possible before. I've been running Maze's End in Giganta for a couple years now. So being able to get some of these extra gates, I'm not running all 20. That's way too slow. But I bumped the number up to, I think, 15 in total. And it still works excellently. So, I'm a fan of the new gates. I'm a fan of a lot of the new commanders. The 3-color commanders are all very interesting. Miracle especially. Bane would be an interesting challenge. The new Minskin Boo is really cool. Elminster is cool. Tasha, I haven't played against Tasha yet. I feel like that would not be a fun commander to sit against. It'd be fun to pilot, but it wouldn't be fun to sit against, I would think. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the set. I've really enjoyed the possibilities that this set brings. I haven't seen a lot of I haven't seen any partner commanders in my spell table experiences. I mean, to be honest, working full time, got a toddler, got a house to take care of. Don't get to play every day, so it's not like I play every night. Um, but it's funny when I sit down, I'll pull out my Abdel Adrian Far Traveler deck, and someone will be like, "Oh, finally, I get to see someone play with a background commander," and I've heard that several times. So it's not just me experiencing this. A lot of our format is so diverse. There's so many commander possibilities even before the background commanders in Baldur's Gate that people aren't really people don't get to see everything. Our format is in an incredible spot just because you don't get to see everything every day. So there we go. Like I said, lots of love for the Baldur's Gate sets. Gave me a few more Lightning Bolts, which are always great in Commander. Lightning Bolt is an awesome Commander card. I know people debate it. There is no debate. Play Lightning Bolt. If you're running red, play Lightning Bolt. Watch what happens. So yeah, that's kind of my quick thoughts for the sets that have come out so far. Double Masters, actually Double Masters I didn't touch on, but too expensive. Just too expensive to buy boosters. And the key cards, the cards that I would want from that set, the cards that I don't have in my collection already, their prices have really come down enough to make them affordable. Like I don't have a top. I used to have an old copy of top, but it got damaged. I traded it for some pretty decent value still. Um, but I don't have top. I didn't have a devoted druid. Actually, devoted druid's cheap now. Um, but yeah, I mean, any cards that I would want are still very, very expensive, and the cards that I don't, because I've already got them, for example, it's very likely to pull them like way too easily and spend way too much money on a Teneb the Harvester. I don't want any. I don't need any more copies of Teneb the Harvester. I don't play the one that I have, so that's kind of where I'm at. With that said, I don't really want to bust those packs, especially at the prices they're charging for Double Masters, and get cards I already have or get cards that I can't actually use. There's even one or two cards in the set that are not legal in the Commander format. So, yeah, Emrakul the Promised End, I think it was. Oh no, it's Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. But either way, like we have the Eldrazi Titans. Yes, I get awesome monetary value off of that Eldrazi, but I can't play it in my format, so I'm not gonna turn around and build a Eldrazi Modern deck just because I randomly have it. That's just my perspective. There's like I said, the reprints that are great, and then the reprints that aren't are trash. Is where I'm at with it, and that's why I haven't touched it. Sets going forward: Dominaria United. Moderately excited. We're gonna get another like 50 some odd legends, I think, including that's main set. There's also going to be 20 additional legends, 19 legendary creatures, and one planeswalker. That were characters from the original Legends set, but with updated designs. I'm pretty sure that the Planeswalker will be legal as a commander. I'm certain I'm stating the obvious on that one. They're only available as box toppers and in collector boosters, so they're actually going to be pretty rare and fairly valuable, I would think. So, hopefully I'm wrong and I can scoop up a couple of them on the cheap. But otherwise, it'd be a fun little mini set to collect. I wish they would just take place on the list instead. That would make the list more worth it, because I'm not a huge fan of the list on the overall. New Capenna's set list was fantastic. 87 cards, some really good cards on that list, and that's in addition to the Stranger Things rethink. But with Baldur's Gate and onwards, they've gone back to the 300 card format and 300 card lists when you can only pull one every 4 booster packs, maybe. And with how much garbage, like how many copies of Vampire Feast do I need? Somehow, the odds of that are supposedly 1 in 3, 6, 9, 1,200 to pull any given list card based on the 1 in 4 average and the number of cards. So 1 in 1,200. And I've got 2. So, yeah, I'm not spending 7 mana to drain something for 4. That's way too much for that. No good. So, that's why I'm not really a huge fan of the list. But once in a while, you get a good pull. I'm hoping they stick to smaller lists going forward, because that was a lot more fun to open. They're talking about having booster packs be fun to open. Well, make it fun. Shorten the list. Please and thank you. But I digress. Dominator United, again, excited for the re-themed Legends. Hopefully I can scoop a couple up on the cheap, as I was saying. We'll also see what's new and what comes out of that. It's supposed to be the start of a 4-set story arc, so we will see how that goes. But it won't be long before we return to New Phyrexia, it seems. The other sets, nothing spoiled from that really. It's the Brothers War. So a little bit of debate as to whether or not the Brothers War is a retelling of the original story, or if we in fact the heroes of the story will in fact go back in time to those events. Either way, that's the set I'm kind of the most intrigued about. I can't say I'm excited because there aren't any cards out for it yet, but I'm certainly intrigued by it. I definitely want to see what how they go about it. There's going to be a lot of great artifact synergy, so be careful with that, I would think. We're definitely going to get more vehicles in that set. So, again, let's see what they end up doing. I am optimistic for that one. Obviously, we don't know precisely what the other 2 sets will be come springtime. They'll announce that soon, I think. But yes, Brothers War is the set that I am kind of the most looking forward to on the overall. But again, we'll see. We'll see what comes out. Unfinity, no, just no. I will have to do a couple of videos covering Unfinity simply because of the fact that it's a weird set what they're doing with this. Some of the cards are legacy legal, which includes Commander, and some are not. The ones that are not going to be legal will have that little acorn on the bottom. I can see why they're doing it. The problem with all of the previous unsets is the fact that you buy the cards, you can play them against each other. For example, Unhinged, you can play your Unhinged game, what have you, and then you throw them into a box and you're done, because you can't play them anywhere else unless you get special permission from your playgroup. And also the jokes, like for the original, the jokes that were in the original Unglued were funny. Not all of them aged very well, shall we say, but they're funny. The more recent sets, not so much. The humor kind of got lost along the way in the effort to, make more interesting designs. So, I don't know. I'm just not interested based on that. And it's come down to. We've seen a few spoilers from Unfinity, and we've got a legendary creature that has, a funny piece of art and a funny name. But then you read the mechanics, and it's legitimately awesome. That's, in my mind, that's not what an unset is supposed to be. I mean, again, I see why they're doing it, making those cards worth buying for players. But no, it's not drawing me in really. The space-themed shock lands, those are going to be cool. I'm not going to knock anyone for seeking those out. Those are going to be cool. And also whatever they do for the full art treatments for the lands in that set, those are going to be cool. But otherwise, not touching the set personally. So yeah, that's my quick take on the upcoming sets. So what else has been going on? Well, like I said, my toddler about 2.5 now, and like I said, just loving life as a dad. Obviously, dad life means that my focus is more on her and taking care of the house. My wife and I taking care of each other, of course. So life is good. Life, of course, has definitely been challenging with the massive inflation that everyone's been dealing with. So Gonna dive into slightly more serious territory here for a few minutes, if you don't mind. So yeah, obviously, the price of everything going up, not just Magic cards, but gas, groceries, etc., means that I personally have, like, even though I'm excited for some of the future sets, I have to really scale back for a while. So yeah, it's kind of what we're feeling here. But like I said, we're surviving. A good way to save money is to wait till your hair gets a little bit longer before you do haircuts, as it turns out. I'm going to go tomorrow morning for a haircut. I also have to stop by the hardware store for something anyways, so that's my plan with my hair. uh, that's the nice thing about this, is that it kind of scales back like how bad my hair actually is. So yeah, so that is definitely a thing. Other things that are happening, obviously for the past several months, been pushing my favorite Discord group. Things have gotten super quiet on my Discord group as of late, so that is kind of why I'm expanding my horizons and starting with the next EDH Community Theater. I'm just going to call it EDH Community Theater. I'm not going to specify the one Discord group. But I'll be posting the ones that I participate in at various degrees. Right now, just 2 in total. Still the original Dungeons and Cardboard. But shout out to the Server of Many Things. The people who put that one together have a really great thing going. So I'm definitely, what's it called? In some ways, I should be seeing it as competition, but in other ways, everyone's happy, everyone's having fun. There's definitely no heat for that. So super happy for what they've got going on. Been managing to get a couple games there too. So it's just a great group of people there as well, and I definitely appreciate the fact that they came and invited me from the old group. Some of those players knew me from the older group, and they brought me in. So super appreciate that. And yeah, I'm hoping to get some more spell table games in. I generally play West Coast mornings, because I work West Coast evenings. Weekends I don't really play because I'm home all day with my daughter. So it's very rare to see me on the weekends or at prime time, shall we say. But if you've got weekdays off in the morning, be sure to look out for me on the spell tables, look out for me on the Discord groups. And yeah, hopefully we get some games in. If you, the viewer, and I have not had a game already, those should be our opportunities. Outside of our Discord group, a fun question I've been asked: who are my dream pod? So there's lots of other content creators, of course, that I would love to be able to play with. There's lots of great people in our Discord groups already, like Original Caesar, Philtron, Eva May. They do a lot of content on TikTok. As far as other YouTubers, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting a game with people like, say, Rachel Weeks or the guys over at One More Mana. Their names slip my mind. I haven't watched their videos in a little bit, but they're a cool bunch of dudes there too. Brian Canada over at Cure for the Common Game. Would love to get a game with him at some point. Busy man. He's opening an LGS. He's retired from his supermarket job and opening an LGS down in Tennessee. So I don't know how often he's going to be able to play games at this point. I might have should have dropped him some DMs a long time ago, but haven't really done so, and that's my bad. I'm a bit of a social media slowpoke, always have been. Who else would I like to play with? The guys over at the EDH Rec podcast. They're amazing. Just started watching the Commander Cookout, and those guys are hilarious. And they're people I could, in concept, reasonably play with. They're just up in Calgary, just about a 9-hour drive. I think they're in Calgary. They're definitely in Alberta. I know that much. So unapologetically Canadian. They're a great couple guys to follow. So, yep, those are some of my favorites. People I would be scared to play with. Ashlyn Rose. She is vicious. I would be afraid to sit at a pod with her. I'd be absolutely afraid. Vicious little monster. So highlighting her very, very specifically. Who else would I be afraid of? Josh Lee Kwai. Yeah, no, he like people say that my decks do the things I want it to do. That's a comment I've gotten from a lot of people I've played with in my Discord groups. Is I build decks, and when I get going, my decks always do the things I want it to do. That's the reputation that I have. Josh Lee Kwai, um, even more so. Like we have very very similar styles, but he's also a bit smarter than I am, shall we say, at the game. So yeah, I'd be super afraid of playing with him because like in the games I've seen him go off, he goes off. So I would be very very afraid to sit down with him. So yeah, I mean those are just a few examples of people that I would love to play with and people I'd be afraid to play with. Not doing the Post Malone thing. I know there's that contest where you could potentially have a one-on-one game with Post Malone. Not putting my name forward for that one, but I can see why people would. It looks like a really cool cat, especially across the table. So, as far as his music, I like Circles, but I'm not a huge Post Malone fan otherwise. But I do really like Circles. He does good stuff. I'm not no hate here, just not my cup of tea, shall we say. Um, but yeah, what other ramblings have we got going on? I think that's about it. Other than that, I guess Board Game Arena. So that's the last thing I'm going to shout out here. I do play turn-based style on Board Game Arena. I've been putting my Board Game Arena tags in my EDH community videos. If you've got a membership for Board Game Arena, you don't need a paid one. It could be a free one. Look for my username. Send me a DM. I've currently got my same logo, my same G logo for Board Game Arena, so I should be pretty easy to find with those tags. And just message me like, hey, I want to play a game of automobiles, or I want to play Castles of Burgundy, or I want to play chess, or cribbage, or like I said, they've got lots of classic parlor games. They've got lots of modern games like Six Nimmt, um, Carcassonne. Carcassone's one of my favorites. So, like, if you like playing those kinds of games, and you're signed up for Board Game Arena or interested in signing up for Board Game Arena, do that. Search for me using the like Find Friends feature. Send me some DMs. We'll pick some games. We'll play them. I've got a premium membership, so we have access to everything. If you can't set up, it only takes one premium member to set up a game of Seven Wonders, for example. So we could definitely make that happen. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. That's a good half hour of rambling, a little bit more than a half hour. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go upload this video. I'm gonna go get a haircut, and I'm gonna come back later this week with the next EDH Community Theater. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you again next time. Bye for now.